today I'm here as General Secretary of WPO. This is our slogan, better quality of life through better packaging for more people. This is really what we believe in and what I personally also believe in, that packaging is one key technology to make better life for people. Yeah? We cannot do our lives without packaging. Our environment, our economic system is not working without packaging. And it is our job, if we are active in that packaging business, either if we are producing the packaging or doing the packaging machinery or using the packaging or collecting them and recycling them, yeah, that we find out which systems are the best one. Yeah? There never will be the total optimum 100% perfect one, but who are fitting best to this situation? And this is what we are working on in our organization. What I want to show you, it's about 3 parts. My presentation contains of 3 parts. Yeah, the first one, because they asked me to give us some future trends, and you know this is always tricky because who knows about the future, especially in times we are living in, yeah? I think we agreed with the situation we are now, yeah? After COVID, yeah? With that crazy Russian war on Ukraine going on, crashing our supply chains and whatever, nobody expected this some years ago, yeah? And so what lies ahead, nobody knows. But I want to try to give you in the first part what is the actual situation, a picture on the actual situation, going a little bit to what are we doing in WPO, and then have one main future trend there in my presentation that will, I guess, in packaging technology, especially in Europe, we focus on in the next year. So what have we learned in these last years of troubles? Yeah, somebody, I think there's a nice word in German, I don't know if I can translate it to English. If you really hate somebody, then wish him that he may live in interesting times, yeah? And I think we had such interesting times at the moment, yeah, but we have to fit to it. But packaging, I guess, did a quite good job in this time, yeah? And not only in this crisis. I'm in this packaging business now since 20, 25 years, kind of this. And whatever crisis is coming, we had also this financial crisis in 2007, 8 and something like this. But if you look from behind, well, packaging was making its way through somehow, yeah? Not the big champions, yeah? Not the one maybe always in the newspapers, but we did our job. Yeah? And this is, I think, what we especially learned now, while COVID crisis, packaging is systematically relevant. We need packaging in our business system. I always talk to my students, yeah, it was about 10,000 years ago, or when mankind changed from this just being hunter and living from eating what they got into something like farming and having households and communities. And since that point, we need packaging. And this is also what happened. We just had a discussion when we drove here. We shut down the schools and the restaurants and everything while COVID, but packaging production was running because we needed that packaging for our foodstuffs, for other things. Yeah? Food packaging is very relevant, as you know, not only in Latvia, we just talked, yeah, for sure, very important in Latvia, but in all worldwide, about 2/3 of packaging are going to food or related sectors like pharmaceutical, cosmetics, and so on. Yeah? And the production ran well, and okay, we had troubles with our supply chains, yeah, maybe not getting all that materials in time, and we had to learn to set up our stocks, but it worked. And this is, I think, we should talk a little bit more about, yeah? That packaging is not only the negative thing in the moment when it turns into waste and nobody knows what to do with it, yeah? We also have to put emphasis on what important role packaging is playing. For every of my 3-4 theses, I want to show you one of our World Star winners, yeah? Nerida just told you about our World Star program, yeah? This is one. It's a delivering box for pharmaceutical things, yeah? And we needed this dramatically in that COVID crisis, yeah? How to deliver all these vaccines, they are temperature sensitive, how to deliver all these disinfectants or whatever without packaging, yeah? And this is one of our winners because it's a special box for pharmaceuticals with different temperature ranges within the pack. Yeah? Some vaccines, the one component you have to store it at near 0 degree, the other one about 20 degrees. Yeah? And you can have this in one pack if you design the pack correctly. Yeah? So this is a world star winner. Why is packaging so important? Why it plays that important role? Because it has that protection function. I hope in that audience I don't tell you anything new about this. Yeah? But again, I think it is something we should talk about more in public. Yeah? Because for many or most people's packaging is just annoying and just waste. And I personally, in my family and with my friends, yeah, for sure, I'm known as the packaging guy, yeah, and for sure they come to me and complain about it. Yeah? Oh, why is it like this? Why I cannot read it? Why is this made out of this complicated material that is not so easy to recycle? Yes, most times because we need this protection function. Yeah? Don't have to talk about it in detail. We know foodstuff, oxygen is a problem, light could be a problem, microorganisms can be a problem, hygienic conditions can be a problem, and so on and so on. The funny thing was, while COVID crisis, it suddenly turned around. Yeah? You know, this sustainability discussion we have here since 10 years, it's also, as I recommend, it's always going down and down. It's coming some years, then it's going down a little bit. While COVID crisis, this environmental discussion suddenly was outpaced. Yeah? It was not there anymore. I remember drawings in newspapers or where they said, oh, packaging, plastic packaging, our new hero, yeah, because it protects our goods for that bad virus, and we can buy our foodstuff safely without getting contaminated. Yeah? As you recognize, this has turned quite quickly again. Yeah? COVID is gone, and now again we have only the environmental discussion. Well, okay, we are used to it, we will handle it, yeah? But maybe from time to time we should come back to this. Yeah? For sure, so for foodstuffs, for pharmaceutical, for medical devices. What do we need for designing such packs? We need people knowing about the technology. And so I'm also happy to visit your institute this afternoon because I'm totally convinced that this is what we need. We need trained people on packaging technology. We don't have enough people aware of the packaging functions. And this is, as WPO, I can tell you, that's a worldwide thing. Yeah? We have to educate more people, and not only on university level, also in graduate schools, also, let's call it common people or whatever. And we have to talk about it. My example, my World Star winner for this, it's a pack for lobsters. What more dramatic thing you can pack than a living organism, yeah? A living animal. Yeah? These lobsters, they are still alive because, well, okay, not so nice story, you know, you have to put them into the boiling water, yeah, alive. This is what they say. Not big lobster fan to be true, yeah. But okay, if you need it, then we have the pack for it, yeah. This is a specially designed bag for lobsters, yeah. Keeping the right temperature, keeping the right CO2 concentration in there, yeah. Ending up with less loss, with less death rate of these lobsters in there. Yeah? And I think this is the least thing, even if we eat them, yeah, then we can take care of them as long as possible, I guess. Yeah? And last but not least, one big trend, and we heard already about it, and my speech, the last thing, will also mainly be on this topic. It's about circular economy. Yeah? This is the actual topic, also worldwide. Yeah? We have to think and we have to realize that we cannot go on like this, just taking materials, using it a little bit and putting it to waste. Yeah? We have to turn our economies into this circular thinking. Yeah? And for sure, packaging is part of it. And as always, and this is also maybe a little bit philosophic thing, yeah, I'm coming up more and more the longer I work in this packaging industry. Why is packaging, you know, circular economy is not only a packaging topic, it's there for our goods, yeah? It's for the foodstuffs themselves maybe, but it's also for the furniture we have here and for some other consumer goods or for my cell phone and all these computers. We should think about how to get them circular. But why is it always packaging that we discuss so much about it? Yeah? Yes, okay, because it's also because of the communication function of packaging, I think more and more, yeah? This is what people touch every day, yeah? It's the packaging material. And so we have this recycling and circular economy discussion maybe much more on packaging than on other goods. For sure we can complain about it and say, why is it always packaging we have to blame and to play these things, yeah? On the other hand side, we could be also proud and say, hey, it just shows how relevant packaging is, yeah? This is where we discuss these things first on, yeah? We will go to this reduce food waste thing, yeah? It's for sure also, if we talk about recycling, especially in Europe, you know, for paper, well, we have the recycling streams. For glass, we have the recycling streams. From the metals, we have quite good recycling streams, yeah. In most countries, big issue is about plastics, yeah. And plastic really is under pressure, yeah. But to be true, my personal, and it's also WPO position, we are very material neutral, yeah. We are not blaming one material against another, yeah. And we will see that also and we have seen it already in Arida's presentation, for sure we have to learn how to recycle plastics, but the technologies are there somehow, yeah? We have to set up the streams, and this is what we work on. But for sure we have to rethink everything. My example, yes, it is an example of replacing plastic, because this is one big story at the moment, yeah. It's a packaging for toothbrush from Norway, yeah, northern countries here, nearly at this northern region of Europe, yeah. They made it out of fiber pulp, yeah. And the funny thing for me about is when they entered the World Star, their presentation there, these aspects are all given by the entering company, yeah. They are discussing it not so much on the scientific environmental impact level, they are discussing it on the marketing level, yeah. If you have that bag, yeah, made out of paper, in the supermarket, all the other toothbrushes are in plastic, yours is in paper, it will jump out and the consumer will be convinced to take it. And it's good because also your toothbrush is made out of recycled plastic or bamboo or something like this. So quite funny. And last but not least, e-commerce. E-commerce is also a big trend we have to face. This is not coming in the future, it's happening now, yeah? We have also a tremendous change in our buying behavior, yeah? Going away from the traditional distribution ways like supermarkets and so on, going towards this e-commerce, yeah? It was a big trend in Europe already before COVID. COVID was a big push on this, yeah, for sure, because everybody was sitting at home, yeah? Supermarkets may be closed, yeah, or not so easy to reach, yeah? So everybody had time to try it, yeah, and they did. Going a little bit down now, but it is stable and the growths are still tremendous. And what we also have to see from a global perspective, e-commerce in Europe is running fine, but the really thing is going on otherwhere, yeah? If you look at the figures of how e-commerce is developing in Asian countries, as an example, China, yeah, it's just crazy, yeah. And this will influence packaging, yeah. Do we have already the perfect packaging for that e-commerce situation, where you don't have that situation that somebody is coming to the supermarket and you have that 0.something seconds to decide if you take that mineral water or this mineral water or that mineral, my brand, the other brand or whatever, yeah? No, the point of purchase is different and the function of packaging is different, yeah? Have we found the perfect solution for this already? I think not, yeah? You know, all these annoying things, you buy a little piece of ink cartridge for your printer at home, yeah, and it comes in such a box. Yeah? And for sure this cannot go on, and I'm sure we will find solutions for this. We don't have it yet. The question for us is, are we part of this business? Yeah? If not, it will become really difficult, yeah, on the market. One World Star winner out of this, it's e-commerce of foodstuffs. Yeah? This is tricky. Yeah? how to get them conserved. Yeah? This is also a lot about temperature, and there are many, many solutions. I could also have taken this from Australia. They have a really cool project. It's called Wool Cool. Yeah? They're using sheep wool to insulate packaging materials. This one here is from Denmark. Yeah? It's a paper-based solution where you use specially crushed paper things to get the insulating cardboard box recyclable out of renewing resources and so on, poorly paper-based to ship some sensitive goods. So the conclusion at the moment is we should promote that packaging function, and who else than us, if we are in the packaging business, can do this. Yeah? We have to do it on our own, everyday's life. Yeah? We should work on our supply chains. I think this is also something we learned in the last years. It's not always like this that we just have to order and it's there in the next minute. Yeah? Maybe we also have to think about that things. And we have to react on this sustainability, circular economy, and e-commerce stories. Yeah? Because they are there and they won't go away. We have to act on this. What are we doing? We have this recycling guideline. We have it now also in Latvian, and I'm totally proud of this, yeah, that you are so active. Iveta, thank you for being so active in this region. It's not only Latvia, I think it's the whole region, the Baltic area here, where you're known for this, and thank you that you put that emphasis in. Narrator talked already about it, you talked about it, I can skip it. You will not only find recycling a guideline there, it also describes the system, how it could work. So really take it. And as I know that also some people from university and students are here, I also did it already in my university lectures. Take this paper, it's free, and work in my university lecture with it. Yeah? I always have some funny things. We go to the supermarket, they buy some products packed, and they then have an idea, is it a good pack or a bad pack? Yeah? And then for sure it's about, mainly now in the discussion about the recycling and environmental issues. And then we take this guideline and see what is our judgment after we've read this recycling guideline. Has it changed? Yeah? Because the first impression, plastic is always bad and all other is good. And if you read this, then maybe you come up, oh yeah, could be also some very good recyclable plastic packagings there and so on. What is very important for me, this is also reflected by this guideline, that it's not only about recycling. I think Nerida made it also clear. We from WPO say, yes, recycling is a key technology, and the circular economy is one important thing, but it would be a mistake to focus only on that recyclability. Yeah? We also have to be aware of that protection function. I think I talked about it, yeah, and about other environmental issues, yeah, like where are the materials coming from, how much energy do we need to produce these materials, and so on. And we have this mapping tool, also Nerida talked about it, and so we can save some time because I think we are already a little bit over time. Including this, I want to open another story, and I'm happy that also Nerida touched it already a little bit. It's the topic about food waste and food losses, yeah? Again, about this protection function, yeah? Nerida mentioned already 1/3 of the food is wasted or lost, and this is the big environmental impact. It's not only a moralic problem that in Africa people are starving and we are throwing away foodstuffs, yeah? It's also an environmental impact. Because, why is it like this? Nerida showed you this graph. It was done by me many years ago, and I learned meanwhile, I also stole it from somewhere. Mr. Sørensen from Denmark told me they talked about this already in the 70s, 80s. It's so simple, but it's so true, that message. Yeah? We have that negative environmental impact on the vertical axis, and on the lower axis there is the increase of packaging, amount of packaging material. Yeah? And you see this orange dotted line, if you reduce packaging material, for sure you go down with environmental impact, because the less paper, the less glass, the less plastics, metal you use per packed food unit, yeah, the less is the environmental impact, because you don't have to produce that glass, yeah, and recycle it. Yeah. And many people then think, okay, it would be the best to use no packaging at all, because then we have the lowest environmental impact. And this is simply not true, because we have this protection function. That means there is a point of no return. If we reduce packaging materials below this point, environmental impact is going up dramatically. Why? Because we are losing foodstuffs. And in that foodstuffs, there's a lot of energy, water, land consumption, biodiversity, whatever, CO2 for sure, whatever environmental impact. So our job, as Nerida mentioned already, to find that point. Where is that optimum point? It's not on the right-hand side with as much packaging as possible, for sure. But it's also not on the very left point without any packaging. It's somewhere in between. Finding that balance, and Nerida mentioned this already, we did many studies. One was on meat packaging, yeah. Well, what is it? It's plastic meat packaging. What is funny about it? Yeah. Well, the fancy thing is again in the technology. This Darfresh called, the brand name, yeah, modern meat packaging systems, yeah, allow us to pack it only once. Normally in meat supply chain, yeah, you have the slaughtering, then you have the meat ripening in big pieces, then you take the big pieces of meat, cut it, you pack it for sure, the big pieces, yeah, the ripening process. Then you cut it down, yeah, and pack it again and give it to the supermarket. Yeah. With this pack, you just have one cutting process because the ripening is going on in that pack. Yeah. What do we need for this? Technology, right? Oxygen permeability and so on. Yeah. That means we have less packaging materials because we just have to pack it once, not twice. But if you look into the CO2 balance, that's not a big issue. For sure, CO2 balance is a little bit better because you just pack it once. The big issue about this is that by just cutting it once, you're reducing the food losses in the cutting process. And this makes this new packaging system suddenly by 1/3 better in the CO2 balance than the other packaging system. What I want to tell you is this, and this is a very key thing also in this audience here, yeah? Never make the mistake if you want to judge a packaging system by only judge the packaging material itself. If you compare the two different packaging systems, let's say a glass bottle and a PET bottle, it's nice to compare them. But you always have to include the functionality of the pack, yeah? Because even if you use a maybe a little bit not so environmental friendly packaging materials, but are able to reduce food losses with this packaging system, under the line it's much more environmental friendly. Yeah? That means we're searching for such a perfect sustainable design formula, yeah? And yes, for sure we have to optimize material production. I'm not talking about this. We have to reduce packaging materials. We have to think about recovery recycling systems. Absolutely necessary. But never forget about the function of the pack. Because if we are losing this, we end up with a much bigger mess than we ever can get back with higher recycling, collecting, whatever rates. Yeah? And this is my important message. World Star winners again, yeah. Okay, meat pack, nice, better circulation of modified atmosphere, so shelf life is longer. The other one are really high-tech, yeah. The right one, the bag, it's from Spain, yeah, is absorbing ethylene, yeah. Ethylene is a ripening gas, as you know, food technologists, yeah, ripening gas of many fruits. So if you absorb that ethylene, fruits are more stable, yeah. Reducing food loss by what they say 10% kind of this. Same principle, other technology down there, it's a micro-perforated plastic film for peppers. Yeah? This micro-perforation is causing a special atmosphere inside the pack, yeah? And that means, again, peppers are much stable, much longer, yeah? From 1 week to 2 weeks to 3 weeks kind of this, yeah? Food losses are reduced, yeah? By micro-perforated bags. But never forget, it's not always about high technology. In many areas of the world, it's just about pack that thing, please. Yeah? One project from our colleagues in Kenya, yeah? Joseph, yeah, our friend from WPO, he has his own farm, and they made a project where they finally took the perfect packaging for their corn, for maize. And and it was not high sophisticated, high-tech, modified atmosphere packaging, whatever, it was plastic bags, woven plastic bags. But they could reduce food losses by 30 to 40% by just using these bags, by using packaging for their products. Otherwise, it was eaten by mice or getting wet and derogated. With that bags, they stay fresh. And this is what packaging is doing. 10 more minutes, then I'm finished. Because what lies ahead in Europe, looking into future, what will really be a big topic, and we heard it a little bit in Nerida's presentation, and I'm not so sure about the very first presentation, if it was there, because it was in Latvian, is this new packaging waste regulation coming up in Europe. This will change, if it comes like it is there, this will change the way of packaging in Europe totally. If it's always to the good, I'm not so sure to be true. What is the time plan? They are actually discussing it, and want to establish it until 2024, 25, and then for sure there are some timelines to introduce some systems. It will replace our old packaging waste directive 94/62. I think we can be quite proud of this. If you heard in Nerida's presentation, she's talking about expanded producer responsibility, and this is a new idea, and it is so helpful. Well, we in Europe have it since the 90s. Expanded producer responsibility is the key issue of that packaging directive we have there in Europe since 25 years or more, 30 years nearly. But this will be replaced by a regulation, that means which is enforced directly to all players in Europe, not via national legislation. Skipping the timeline a little bit, you can read it, I think you get the thing, the presentation afterwards. We will have such a grading system. That means if your pack is not recyclable, if it is below a 70%, then it's not allowed to put on the market anymore. From, what's the timeline there? From 2035, and the more recyclable, the less will be the fee that you have to pay for recycling, collecting, and so on, if you put it on the market. How this judging, this eco-modulation system is really working is not defined yet, but it's quite sure that such a system will come. That means be aware already now how recyclable is your pack, because if it is not recyclable, it's maybe banned, or you really have to pay high fees on that. There will be for sure also limits or targets for recycled content in your pack. So it's not only that your pack has to be recyclable, it must be recycled, and you have to use this recycled material again, with quotas of 30%, 50%, depending on different areas. For sure, Commission reflects that food packaging is more sensitive. They don't talk about food packaging, by the way, they talk about this contact-sensitive packaging. That means it's not only food, it's also cosmetics, as an example. Not pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals are out of this regulation, by the way. But for single-use plastic bottles, then it's even higher. That means in, well, not that long time, 10, 50 years, we have to use 50, 60, 65% of recycled material in all of our packs. There will, as Nerida mentioned, targets for reuse of packaging. And there it starts to become really a little bit crazy in my eyes, There will not only be targets for refill, reuse systems for where you can think of it for coffee shops and drinks and so on, and beverages, kind of this, Very interesting, there will be also refill, reuse rates, and they set from the very beginning, in the draft we have at the moment, at 100%, for business-to-business transport packaging. If you are a corporate company, and deliver something from one factory to another, already when this is enforced, you have to use 100% refillable packaging systems. if you transport, let's say, some food components from factory A to factory B. Yeah? And later on, also for transport packaging within a country from company to company. Yeah? This could kill all our corrugated business, yeah? If we have to transform all these corrugated boxes into some refillable systems. For sure, there can be maybe refillable corrugated boxes, but their business will go down. Yeah? There's also the idea of compostable packaging, and this is also quite interesting. It plays not that big role in that draft in the European version. Yeah? The Europeans say, okay, these biodegradable plastics and materials, they are there in some niches, yeah, for these very thin plastic bags at the vegetable corner in the supermarket, maybe for some labels on fruits, bananas. Okay, this makes sense, yeah, because these banana skins are going to compost, and then this label should be not a problem, yeah. For tea and coffee bags and maybe these coffee capsules, they should be either recyclable or compostable, yeah. Quite good idea. But it's not a core strategy to set high targets for compostable materials, yeah. It's different from the US market. If you look for US statistics, then most of US statistics say these biodegradable materials will go up in the next years. Not so much in Europe, I guess, with this regulation. Yeah? We have already the single-use plastic packaging things. Yeah? It will become more strict. Yeah? As an example, they want to ban grouped packaging. That means no more 6-packs for something. Yeah? You can take it one by one, yeah, but not forced to take 6, and that means you don't have all these wrapping materials anymore. Yeah. No packaging for fruits below 1.5 kilogram, yeah, so only loose to pick it at a supermarket. Is it hygienic? Is it that COVID discussion? I don't know. Yeah. HoReCa, you know what HoReCa is? It's hotel, restaurant, catering. Yeah, there also some restriction on that small packs. Yeah, for sauces, for ketchup, or in the hotel for your shampoo or whatever. Yeah, they are banned. Yeah, and also within restaurants it is banned to use single-serve plastic things. Yeah, as for takeaway it's allowed. Yeah, but not if you sit in the restaurant itself. Yeah. And they are working on the labeling system. We just had a discussion, Iveta and I, this Australian labeling system, where to place what in which bin, is quite amazing. Yeah? They want to work also on that labeling system, but there are no further details at the moment. It's just announced that there will be a system, however it looks like. Yeah? Good idea, I think, because at the moment every country is working on its own labeling system. Yeah, like Italy has its own system, and we know from our colleagues from Italy they don't even know themselves how to administrate it. Yeah, and the French have their dream end, but it's gone again, and big confusion. And there will be deposit return schemes, like Nerida also mentioned. This is also a strategy mainly for drinks. Yeah. Built on existing systems that we have already in Germany as an example, yeah? But it will be mandatory for some kinds of beverages up to 3 liters and obligatory for some other drinks, but there are also some exceptions like milk products, wine and spirits and so on. And there will be reduction targets. Yeah? There it is funny that they take a standard year, the year 2018, so before COVID. Yeah? From that level, member states have to reduce their packaging material at all by 5, 10, 15% over the years, as you can read here. At the moment, this is just a draft. Yeah? Big discussions going on. I hope also Latvia is raising its voice inside that European discussion, and I think we have to be aware as packaging community also. Some things are quite good in there, I guess, yeah. Some others really seem to be strange for me, and I don't know where they're coming from. I think sometimes they're coming from not knowing what packaging functions are there, yeah. Beside being waste, yeah, that we have this marketing function and protection function. So I think it's about us to raise also our voice, yeah, to tell people and also some legislative bodies, yeah, what is packaging in real life, yeah, and this is what we should work on, I guess. I hope I was not too long. Thank you so much, and have some discussion afterwards, maybe also in the coffee break. Thank you.